Build, repair, replenish. That's what you'll be doing when you feed your dog the complete nutrition that's packed into a can of Laddie Boy premium dog food. This is Orson Welles, and I'm like every other dog owner. Nothing is too good for my little Kiki. So when my vet assured me that nothing went into Laddie Boy that we couldn't eat ourselves, I decided to give it a try. Laddie Boy is specially formulated for every stage in a dog's life. Like his master, Kiki is getting along in years, so I put him on Laddie Boy's special senior maintenance formula for aging dogs. How's this for a mouth-watering choice of selections? Apple meatloaf, tamale pie, salmon souffle, and Kiki's favorite, beef and bacon balls. Laddie Boy Premium Dog Food. Your dog will love you all the more for it.
My name is George. Did you know that? True, it's only one of my names. People become their names. George Wells. Shaw's name was also George. Can you imagine St. Joan, or Heartbreak House, or Major Barber, or any of those other marvelous plays being written by a man named George Shaw? Unthinkable. So for that matter, can you imagine a man named George being a writer and producer on Broadway? An actor in motion pictures and on the legitimate stage? A writer and director of films? A commentator on radio and television? A set designer? A novelist? A cartoonist? A violinist? A magician? There's so many of me, and so few of you. That's how I introduced myself at a lecture I gave in Buffalo some years ago. They were having one of their hourly blizzards, and there were very few people in the audience. You might say I brought down the row with that line. No sooner had I come off stage when the house manager pulled me aside and said, "There's a police officer in your dressing room. Don't go back to your hotel room," the officer warned me. "Why not?" "You're being set up. They've got an underage girl in your bed, and photographers waiting for you." That's how determined our Mr. Hurst was to punish me for Citizen Kane.
I am he for whom are reserved all the most dangerous feats. But it causes my heart to burst with joy to tempt this peril, however great it may be.
To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to live with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go.
When I crossed that great divide, I emptied my wardrobe out and replaced it with 6 of these. The ultimate in comfort for the gastronomically challenged, I believe they call it today. Gastronomically challenged. Try saying that 10 times in a row. My old friend, John Huston, had cast his father in the part of Captain Ahab in Moby Dick. Only Walter had died before shooting could begin. Now, I had played Ahab on the stage in London to great success, so I called John to offer him my services. I'm afraid, Orson, I don't see you in Ahab's skin. There simply isn't room for 2 whales in Moby Dick. I had always been able to lose 50 pounds when I wanted to. I lost that much for The Third Man and twice that for my AFI tribute several years ago. Of course, I gained it all back and then some. Oh, I just love a good digression, don't you? Read the first few pages of Dead Souls again, and you will see how one mad little digression can enhance an ordinary narrative. Anyway, there you have me, in the raw, so to speak. Woo! You, sir, you seem to be having trouble recognizing me. Could it have anything to do with my nose? This pudgy little thing was all the good Lord in his infinite wisdom saw fit to endow me with. Whatever was he thinking? Olivier is another one who hates his nose. One of the few beliefs we share in common is the importance of the nose in shaping the actor's approach to his role. This tender little button might do for comedy. But Larry and I, we're attracted to what they call in the classical French tradition, king's roles. Lear, Othello, Macbeth. Does this look like the profile to strike fear and pity into men's hearts? I was discussing my nose, sir. Then why are you staring at my ampleur? You thought I was serious, didn't you? Oh, my nose stopped growing before I entered my teens, by which time I was already 6 feet tall. Rather than feel sorry for myself, I decided to improve on God's handiwork. How? Makeup. Theater, film, I've always done my own. So that now I have several dozen false noses, each of which I fashioned myself. From the height of the arch to the flare of the nostrils to the length of the full organ, until I had the ideal proboscis in all its phallic splendor. I always take a few of them with me in a little box whenever I have to appear before the camera. I simply snap it on, cover it with grease paint, et voila! Falstaff! There he left him. Hey, Quinn. What is the matter with all that racket?
Very cool. I'm just applying my magic to that dog food spot you did.
Dog food spot? From the sound of it, I thought you were engaged in some form of pagan ritual.
Here, my Sandra, shall I do my penance? Here shall the tears from my eyes swell in limpid streams, and here shall the sighs of my heart stir every mountain tree.
Give a listen to this.
Build, repair, replenish. That's what you'll be doing when you feed your dog the complete nutrition that's packed into a can of Laddie Boy premium dog food. This is Orson Welles, and I'm like every other dog owner. Nothing is too good for my little Kiki. So, when my vet assured me that nothing went into Laddie Boy that we couldn't eat ourselves, I decided to give it a try. Laddie Boy is specially formulated for every stage in a dog's life. Like his master, Kiki is getting along in years, so I put him on Laddie Boy's special senior maintenance formula for aging dogs. How's this for a mouth-watering choice of selections? Apple meatloaf, tamale pie, salmon souffle, and Kiki's favorite, beef and bacon balls. Laddie Boy's premium dog food. Your dog will love you all the more for it.
Too bad you didn't think of me for the dog's part. That's how I started in this business, as a D-man.
A what?
Someone who specializes in dialects, accents, any kind of sound. Did you know that I was the voice of the Dion quintuplets when their births were announced on the radio?
Whoa, you're putting me on, man.
No, I was there. Cool and gagglings.
That's really far out. I mean, you doing shit like that?
Well, seems to me like I'm still doing shit like that 50 years later. And still for the same reason. Money, money, money. Alex, it's 10 o'clock. Oh, you're not still asleep, are you? The appointment with Spielberg's at 11. I want you in his office at 1:15. Yes, I'll be having lunch at the saloon. Meet me there. The saloon, man. Of course, Mama's on. Where am I? What kind of a question is that? Yes, I had an early call this morning. A dog food spot. No, I did not have to eat from the can. But I did have to celebrate its contents. Yes, I have fallen so low. Alex, the man is offering us a letter of credit so that we can finish Don Quixote. Mio bambino, Alex, mio bambino. You of all people should know that. The negative is safe with Marot and Rome. Look, this time next week we should be there too. How long have you worked for me? 30 years? When have you ever known me to celebrate my birthday? And I wouldn't have last night if not for Steve and Amy. The party was their idea, not mine. Alex, I'll have you know I did my best dancing bear routine for that money. But you make it sound like I pledged my soul to the devil. All the man is asking is that I have it ready to go at Cannes next year. If I don't, well, then I guess the gates of hell shall open thrice wide for me. Alex, what am I? Yes, but what am I above all else? And when was the last time anyone offered me a picture to direct? Anyone! Not just in this town. So let's get your royal ass over to Spielberg and bring me that letter of credit at the saloon. Or you can just find yourself another meal ticket.
This, Brother Panza, is the day when you shall see the boon that heaven has in store for me.
Would you like to swing on a star? Carry moonbeams home in a jar and be better off than you are. You could be swinging on a star.
want to fix your mic.
Oh, will it make me sound more like Orson Welles?
Well, that's what. That's what you want the melon for, right? Did I hear you say something about royalty?
Hmm?
Yeah, that guy on the phone.
Oh, Prince Alessandro Tasca de Cuto.
Prince, you mean like Chucky and I?
More than that. He's a count 4 times, a duke 3 times, and a marquis 6 times.
Ooh.
All it means is he gets to keep his hat on when speaking to the King of Spain.
So you're finally gonna finish it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have been working on this film longer than I've been alive.
All the more reason to get it right this time.
And the man himself's putting up the do-re-mi.
I'm one lucky hombre.
Leave everything to God, friend Sancho, and he will give us what is most fitting.
They showed that at school.
Showed what at school?
Yeah, Don Quixote, my professor, has a print.
Your professor goes around stealing other people's property, does he? Some role model you have.
A guy in the valley was selling them. Quality sucks. Gotta be 10th generation or something.
Well, that's some consolation.
Did I read about you using that kid? What the hell's her name?
Patty McCormick?
Yep. I saw you, but I didn't see her. She get left on the cutting room floor.
You're only talking about the most talented child star since Liz Taylor.
No offense, but what happened to her?
I ran out of money before I could finish shooting her scenes. It took me 2 years to resume production.
And by that time...
She'd all grown up.
Bummer. Well, I know what I do.
What do you do? And what, may I ask, is that?
Come on, just shoot around her, man.
Shoot around.
Yeah.
Why didn't I think of that? Oh, as soon as I get done here, I'm going to run on down to the Hollywood Reporter and I'm going to place an ad. Wanted, 12-year-old actress with the talent of a Patty McCormick.
Well, that isn't what I mean.
No? Then what did you mean?
Come on, I mean like shoot everything but a face. Like Ed Wood did in Plan 9 from Outer Space. When Bela Lugosi died on him.
I'm afraid I don't know that
The worst piece of shit ever made.
one. Well, I'd like to think I set my sights a little higher than that. Well, actually, I did plan a reshoot using my daughter Beatrice.
Whoa, can she act?
I'm certain I could have coaxed the scene out of her. But then again, the noiseless foot of time crept swiftly by. I hate admitting this, but I have forgotten your name.
Okay. Meloman at your service. Mel for short.
I turned 70 yesterday, Mel.
Oh shit, man. No, I didn't mean any disrespect.
No, shit is right. 70 years old, no longer the boy wonder, that's for sure.
Would you mind my asking about, You better not.
Oh, asking what?
You know, my professor told us that...
Oh, is this the same thief that you mentioned earlier?
Yeah, and that thief told us that you have made that Quixote flick with your own money.
Quixote, Othello, F for fake, who can remember them all?
That's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. But I guess I'm gonna change my tune when I'm back on top in June. I said that's life. And it's funny as it may seem. Some people get their kicks from stomping on a drain, but I won't let it get me down, 'cause this final world, she keeps spinning around.
No studio would back me. I couldn't even get a loan from the bank. If you're not a Spielberg or a Lucas, you can expect to spend more time putting the deals together than actually making the movie. College boys from NYU or USC or AFI, they sit around their boardroom speaking in code. Points, feasibility analysis, market share. Snot-nosed little shits. It used to be. Orson Welles for Daryl Zanuck, please. Oh, he put me through my dancing bear routine, but in the end, Daryl! What a joy it is to hear a friendly voice for a change. I got all these people yelling in my ear, in Italian no less. Is this little matter of a hotel bill I've run up? Well, of course they're still with me. The whole company on full pension. Well, if I did that, I wouldn't have them when I need them. And if I'm ever going to finish this picture, I'm damn well... Don't you think I thought of that? Oh, Daryl! The Cavalari, they're storming the hotel! And the only way out is to jump in the canal. Oh, Daryl, please. I'm on my knees to you, Daryl. It's either you or a watery grave. You wouldn't want that on your conscience, would you? 100,000 should do it. You still want me in the Black Rose, don't you? Well, how much do you think that's going to cost you? Good. Just have your man wire me the money at the column door. Bye, Daryl. Bye now. Don't get me wrong. They were all monsters. The Zanucks, the Warners, the Harry Cohns. But they were devoted to this business. I was once with Sam Golden on the set of Wuthering Heights, and I said something like, "Oh, what a good film Willie Wyler's making." And he turned on me and he said, "I'm making this picture. Wyler's only directing it." There's none of that spirit anymore. I don't even know if Hollywood deserves being called a movie town anymore. Maybe the industry is just exhausted itself. I hope this doesn't sound like sour grapes. I mean, Hollywood is Hollywood. Whatever your luck, and I've had the very best luck and the very worst luck. But no one forces you to sit down and play the game. So none of us have a right to be bitter. I'm just questioning the wisdom of my decision. People don't understand Hollywood. You know, behind all that phony tinsel is real tinsel.
There's no business like show business, like no business, I know. Everything about it is exciting, everything the traffic will allow. Nowhere can you get that happy feeling when you are steering that extra bow. There's no people like show people, they smile when they are low. Yesterday they told you you would not go far. Tonight you open and there you are. Next day on your dressing room they hang a star. Let's go on with the show.
If I'd had any sense, I'd have left this business years ago.
Yeah, how about we get started?
Right after Citizen Kane. Going back to the theater. Become a writer. Going into politics as the president, Mr. Roosevelt, thought I should do. No, not a writer. I couldn't stand the awful silence after you finish a chapter and the typewriter doesn't burst into applause. You know what I dreamed of becoming as a child?
What's that?
A painter.
Okay.
I wonder if I should have stuck with it. I mean, a painter, you get up in the morning, you clean your brushes, and you go to work. How much can a box of paints cost? I mean, nothing compared to my box of paints as a filmmaker. And you never know where it will lead you. I was once raising money for some project or other, and my pigeon was this sinister-looking Russian who was said to be worth $1 billion. And as luck would have it, Churchill was staying at the same hotel. You do know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. That pigeon of yours. Sinister-looking pigeon of yours. No. But where do I know that name? No, I got it. Got it, man. It's on your cigars of yours, right?
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Come on, man. We're just pulling your chain. Of course I know who Churchill was.
That's good. If he and FDR hadn't been there to lead us through the war, the world would be a very different place today.
Better or worse? Okay. We shall fight them on the beaches and in the air and whatever. Whoa, learn my history or what, man?
Close enough.
This is the G.I. Jive, man alive. It starts with the bugle blow and reverie over your head when you arrive. Jack, that's the G.I. Jive.
Anyway, my pigeon and I walked down into the dining hall, and there he was. As we passed his table, Churchill nodded to me. Roosevelt had introduced us during the war, and then Churchill had seen my Othello several years later.
Othello. Hi, Mr. Monk. Will you come to bed, my lord?
You prayed tonight as the one. If you bethink yourself of any crime unreconciled as yet to heaven and grace, solicit for it straight.
Alas, my lord, what do you mean by that?
Well, do it and be brief. I would not kill thy unprepared spirit. No, heaven forfend. I would not kill thy soul. Strumpet! Which suffer to my face?
Banish me, my lord, but kill me not.
Strumpet!
Kill me tomorrow, let me live tonight.
It is too late.
Citizen Coon, as the critics called it. Seems like I had painted myself up a little too black for their taste. This made a great impression on my Russian. Good heavens, he said. Sir Winston knows you? Of course, I said, nonchalantly. I went for a swim the next morning and found myself on the beach next to Churchill. Oh, you have no idea the good you did me when I came into to the dining hall with that fellow yesterday, I said. I'm raising money for a new film, and you're nodding to me. Well, you just have no idea how helpful that was. He didn't say a word. He's practically deaf, and you never know when he hears you or not. Anyway, I thanked him and excused myself for lunch. At the appointed hour, I met my pigeon, with whom I was still negotiating, and we went into the dining hall. And once again, there was Churchill. As we passed his table, he reached out and grabbed my arm and called out, most potent and reverent signors, my most noble and approved good masters, Othello's lines. The old fox had heard me. By the end of the day, I was on a plane back to Rome with a certified check in my pocket. That was the happy exception. More often than not, I meet my pigeon at the saloon. He's from the world of business, with dreams of making it rich in Hollywood. I fill his head with stories about Citizen Kane and the Martian broadcast, and what it's like to be married to Rita Hayworth. Something my learned biographer somehow managed to overlook. My starry-eyed pigeon says something like, I'll get my lawyer to draw up an agreement and get back to you next week.
Yeah, I think we ought to do this all-American spot first, and then this ADS promo for that rich dude in Dallas. What's it?
If you only knew how many next weeks there have been over the last dozen years. So how many of these all-American spots are there?
Yeah, just the one.
Then why do I have two pieces of copy? Two very different pieces of copy.
Yeah, well, they are not sure which one they want to go with, and basically that's why they want to hear it.
Let me see if I understand you. I am to read two pieces of copy, but our sponsor is only willing to pay me for one of them.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't do freebies, unless of course they're a charitable organization, in which case I need proof of their non-profit status. So, we'll just have to make up their minds for them. Won't we?
Yeah, I guess so.
Anytime.
I need a level first.
There's a change on the horizon. Is your business prepared?
Yeah, this time could you pick it up, Annie? All American Financial, take one.
There's a change on the horizon. Is your business prepared? At All American Financial, we provide the types of programs that keep people and organizations moving towards long-term financial success. Come what may. All American Financial, supporting the whole idea of financial independence for over 100 years. What time are my Japanese expected?
They are down for 3.
And you want me to go through all of this before they arrive? I won't have any voice left.
No problemo.
You remember that newspaper spot you did that other day?
Newspaper spot. In the forests of Mexico, Mayan farmers use...
Sorry, not that one. This is the one I want you to hear.
In the forests of Mexico, Mayan farmers use axes and machetes to clear and scorch the land. They do not replant what they have destroyed. 1,500 miles away in Michigan, shopping malls and industrial parks have begun fragmenting the woodlands. Our forests are turning into concrete jungles right before our eyes. What these two events have in common may be surprising, especially if you're a songbird. Look for this series in the Detroit Free Press.
Meloman at your service. I just really throw my effects.
You what?
A machine that enhances the voice.
I'll say it does. So, what's it called again?
APHEX. Say you're doing a 60 and you come 4-5 seconds long. I've got me another machine in here which can shave it off microseconds off each syllable. So basically it sounds like you nailed that sucker flat.
And what's it called?
A time compressor.
So let me see if I understand you correctly. No matter how I might sound while reading this stuff, and no matter how slowly I might read it, those gadgets of yours
can give you back the famous voice of God sound of yours.
Every time.
Every time.
Did I not tell thee, Sancho, how everything that happens in this place is done by enchantment?
When you wish upon a star, make no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. When your heart is in your dream, no request is too extreme.
With what I got in here, I can make a mouse fart sound like the Mormon Tabernacle Choir.
No more take after take. All I have to do is read this stuff once and abracadabra.
Yeah, pretty much.
I can just feel the years just falling off me. Do you know why I was called the Boy Wonder?
Why, they got tired of calling you a genius all the time?
No, a genius in Hollywood parlance is for someone who's either dead or otherwise unavailable, and I am neither. There are only two people in this business worthy of that distinction, Chaplin and D.W. Griffith. No, with me, it was more a matter of being in the right place at the right time when the right technology came along. Do you want to know why Greg Tolan offered to shoot Kane for me?
And how?
I had never made a film before, and I did not know what was impossible. I thought that the camera could capture everything the eye could see. Ignorance! Sheer ignorance, that's what excited him. There isn't anything about the camera I couldn't teach you in one afternoon.
Come on.
And he did! Now, tell me how you want this picture to look. Oh, watching him on the set, the way he positioned the camera, chose the lenses, framed each shot. Oh! I apprenticed with Rembrandt. So, my young Houdini, what would you have me do?
Yeah, just start reading.
The world, a rather awesome space. 57 million square miles of land. Somewhere down there sits a business. Maybe it's a bank, a convenience store. No matter what it may be, there's another company that knows more about it than you could possibly imagine. More about its location, more about its customer preferences than even its managers do. That company is EDS, Electronics Data Systems.
Radio was to actors of the 1930s what soaps are today. Grocery money. We held our noses all the way to the bank. I was also directing the Voodoo Big Bang in Harlem. We'd rehearse from midnight to 6 a.m. I would shower, then I would rush downtown to do the March of Time, Peter Absolute, the Mercury Wonder Show, God only knows what else. I would run from station to station. They would hand me a script. I'd ask, what's the character? An 80-year-old Chinaman, they'd say. I do, the 80-year-old Chinaman. And then I would go on to my next assignment. Oh. Have you ever tried getting around Manhattan by cab? And I never had a moment to spare. So I hit upon the idea of using an ambulance. I could do that in those days because New York had no law that said you had to be sick to ride in an ambulance. So I was making $2,000 a week as an anonymous radio actor when CBS called offering me the lead in a new mystery series.
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows.
So I was doing the shadow on the radio and then directing Dr. Faustus down at the WPA and playing the lead. The shadow ended at 8:30, just as the curtain was going up on Faustus. So I would deliver my last line, I'd run out the door and jump into my ambulance. He would race across town as Quixote clearing the way, while I changed into my costume. And you know, I never once missed a cue. Not one time. Oh, I mean, those days, it was incredible.
Are you doing your magic act on the Carson show later this week?
What if I am?
Well, he says to tell you that he is the guy who sent you the watch.
Oh, that keeps perfect time. Yes, I need to speak with him. Richard! Oh, how good of you to call. Oh, alas, I left the watch at home. But if you could call me there tonight, I messed up your 37 gag the last time I did his show, and we know how Johnny just is so unforgiving when things go wrong. So if you could just talk me through it. That's it? And you wonder why I call you the Edison of magic. Oh, look, I see that what's his name is waving to me from the booth, so
I'm doing what?
What was that? Oh, no, I just have some clients coming in from Japan, and I have to wade through this endless drill before they arrive. Oh, yes, they do like to visit Hollywood, don't they? No, I get to read 12 of my favorite short stories. In English, of course. Oh, guess what? I finally managed to raise the money I need to finish Don Quixote. Oh, it's not just any pigeon this time. It's Mr. Hollywood himself. Spielberg, dear boy, Spielberg. What do you mean, give it up? Oh, you sound just like Alex. Richard, the man, idolizes me. No, Quixote is not his kind of picture. I don't disagree, but you have to admit that he milks that purity and peril formula better than anyone. Yes, that's true. But, it's schlock, yes. But it's the gold standard of schlock. That everyone in this town would murder their firstborn duplicate. Well, maybe not everyone. There's still a few of us who managed to avoid the cookie cutter. But look, I really must be getting back to work now. Yes, fine. Just call me at home tonight, okay? Bye-bye. I saw my first magic show when I was 6 years old. Anytime's a person. This is vaudeville. You have to remember I was only 6 when I saw this. Blackstone. Long tack sand. See, they would come to Chicago, and my father would gather up my older brother Dickie and me, and off we'd go to see them. Oh, that's got to hurt. Oh, Houdini. He was my first teacher. See, he was a friend of my father's. No, I never did that now. My father, he took me around backstage to meet Harry, and he said, "The boy wants to be a magician." "Fine," Harry said. "I'll teach him." Woo! Oh! Vaudeville. There were always long waits between sets. So whenever Harry wasn't entertaining, he would demonstrate various effects. And there's one thing that he taught me that is still reflected in everything I do. The performance, he said, consists of 2 parts. Out front, where the audience experiences the intended effect, and then backstage, where the wires are.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Mercury Wonder Show.
Let me entertain you. Let me make you smile. Let me do a few tricks, some old and then some new tricks. I'm very versatile. And if you're real good, I'll make you feel good. I want your spirit to climb. Let me entertain you, and we'll have a real good time. Yes, sir. We'll have a good time.
Starring Princess Rita, Jojo the Clown, Calliope Agee, and the one, the only, Orson the Magnificent.
Dr. Wells, if you please. DDT, LSD,
C. Jojo the Human Sewing Machine, Calliope Agee, the girl with the X-ray vision. C. Princess Rita sawed in half and lived to tell about it.
Alas, no Princess Rita, I'm afraid.
But due to the terrible strain on the practitioners of these miraculous effects,
not to mention studio interference,
the management reserves the right to alter the program without prior notice.
In those days, actors were owned by their studios. It was called being under contract. And you never know what that meant. Fox had poor Marilyn Monroe spending more time on her knees than in front of the camera. Rita was the property of Harry Cohn at Columbia. And he was adamant, a chronic condition in his case, that Rita quit our nightly entertainments. I'm paying you all this money to be a star, and you're performing for nothing in a tent with that nutcase over my dead body. So alas, I never got to saw Rita in half. Marlene Dietrich, however, heard what happened and volunteered her services. Orson, she said, for the purpose of the audience, of course. How does this trick work? To which I answered, saw in hand. Oh, just you wait, Marlene. This trick will kill you.
12 have died.
The bullet catch, in full view of the audience, too. And at least that many more have been wounded. The bullet catch, the most dangerous effect in magic. Even Houdini, as fearless as he was, would not attempt it.
12 have died.
Long Beach was the port of embarkation for our boys going to fight in the Pacific War. And they usually managed, before they left, a visit to Hollywood. Well, I thought that the least I could do was gather up a few of my friends and entertain them. Oh, if you thought they were shy about asking Rita to pose with them, you should have seen them with Marlena. She was old enough to be their mother, but you never would have known it in those skin-tight gowns of hers. When I announced the bullet catch, the tent was packed, and not just with our boys in uniform. Mr. Hearst was still after my scalp, and he had sent out his minions. Harry Cohn, Luella Parsons, Louis B. Mayer. They were out in droves. No doubt hoping to witness number 13.
That old black magic has me in its spell. That old black magic that you weave so well. I see fingers up and down my spine. That same old witchcraft when your eyes meet mine.
Can you imagine Clark Gable doing that with his dentures?
Are you here to work or what?
Oh, I'm coming. Oh, I came out here at a time that has become legendary. The war hadn't started yet. I was all of 24, and so everyone was still here. All those famous names still throwing their marvelous parties. It was a sort of a Götterdämmerung moment. Woo! Garbo was my next door neighbor, and she didn't have a pool. So every Sunday morning between 10 and 11, I let her use mine. I was expected to stay inside with the curtains closed until the last splash was heard. It wasn't that she was naked or anything. She just didn't want to be looked at. Well, I soon grew tired of that and went in swimming with her. So there we were, Garbo and I, passing the rubber ring back and forth. When news about Pearl Harbor came in over the radio. Now, God knows I love my country, but I did not want to be drafted into the Army. With my lack of a formal education, I would have spent my entire time over there as a mere foot soldier. So my legal guardian, Dr. Bernstein, in his capacity as a specialist in such matters, petitioned the draft board that I be classified 4F. Now, to hear him say it, I was suffering from chronic myelitis, original syndrome arthritis, bronchial asthma, and best of all, inverted flat feet. That was all the excuse our Mr. Hearst needed to have me labeled a Soviet agent as well as a draft dodger in all his subject newspapers. Now, the reason he gave for this was because Dr. Bernstein had been born in Russia. Now, mind you, he was my legal guardian, not my biological father. Do you know what really infuriated him about Citizen Kane? The name Rosebud. It was his pet name for Marion Davies. Ooh, denda. Anyway, a member of the House Un-American Activities Committee visited me and asked me if, in fact, I was a communist. Now, you have to remember that in those days, calling someone a communist was like playing the race card today. It immediately put you on the defensive. Oh, except for Bogart. Oh, God bless him. Come on, admit it. You bastards want to nail anybody who's even scratched his ass during the national anthem. I questioned my inquisitor about what he meant by a communist. Someone who gives his money to the government. Well, by that definition, I am 85% communist. That's how much I pay in taxes. But the other 15%, I assured him, was thoroughly capitalistic. I can make light of it now. But the blacklist was just around the corner. Now, we like to think that the 1-2 punch of HUAC and McCarthy did us in, but that was after the war, when the right wing came out of their wormholes with a vengeance. That horse's ass with the sunny disposition that we now have in the White House, with his doe-eyed cadaver of a wife. They are just the latest incarnation. The worst of their kind is yet to come. Shameful hearings just made painfully clear. The rot was within. Adolf Menchu and Robert Taylor wrapping themselves with the flag before the committee. It was all I could do just to keep from vomiting. So many of us betrayed opposition. Name names. I would like to think that if I had stayed on here in Hollywood, I would have behaved better than so many of my liberal friends. Just turned on one another just to keep themselves in swimming pools. What's next?
Yeah, let's knock off this beer spot first and then...
Ready?
When have I not been?
This imported beer is everything you'd expect. It has a rich, full-bodied, imported taste, as you'd expect.
But here's one thing you wouldn't expect. It's light. Anstel light beer. Imported by Van Munchen and Company, New York. Well?
Give me a minute to play with it.
Play? Oh, you mean with those gadgets of yours?
Exactement.
Go for it. Like my father, I spent my 20s in the tireless pursuit of dancers. In my father's case, it was showgirls. My taste ran more towards ballerinas. Mind you, I was never the sexual acrobat that Chaplin was, or that Warren Beatty still is. I live by the motto, once a king, always a king. Once a night is quite enough, thank you. People seem to forget that I was once leading man material. Kane, Rochester, Harry Lime, my high skinny years, I like to call them. From that to this. I believe it was Aristotle who said, gluttony is a positive virtue. It celebrates the best things in life. A positive virtue. The driver needs to help me into his cab. I need 2 people to help me out of it. I can't even tie my own shoelaces. My man Freddie has to do it for me. I live with the most desirable woman in town, and I can't remember the last time I was able to make love to her. In Man for All Seasons, to squeeze me in behind that desk, they had to lower me in with a crane. When the shot was finished, the same crane hoisted me up again.
You opposed me in the council this morning, Thomas.
Yes, Your Grace.
You were the only one.
Yes, Your Grace.
And a fool.
Thank God there is only one fool on the council.
Why did you oppose me?
I thought Your Grace was wrong.
Matter of conscience. You're a constant regret to it, Thomas. You could just see facts flat on without that horrible moral squint. A little common sense, you could have made a statesman.
They saw fit to give me a bedpan to pee into between takes. Better to empty something like that than have to hoist me up and down every time nature called. I was equally popular among members of my own sex. The Irish actor Liam McLemore said that I had disconcerting Chinese eyes. They were to him, at least. I had the choir boy look. So older gentlemen who wanted to further my career or talk to me about poetry. So I got onto that early in life. I became sort of the Lily Lantry of the older homosexual set. Oh, I never insulted anyone. I put them down the same way girls do when you bring them home with certain expectations in mind after a night on the town. Oh, I seem to have developed this horrible headache and need to lie down alone.
Embrace me, my sweet embrace of belief. Embrace me, you irreplaceable you. Just one look at you, my heart grows tipsy in me. You and you alone bring out the gypsy in me. I love all the many charms about you. Above all, I want my arms about you. Now, don't be a naughty baby. Come to Mama, do. My sweet embrace about you.
They pretty much left me alone after they realized I wasn't inclined in their direction.
No soft words for me. I know thee well.
Except for John Houseman. He had been appointed head of the Negro Theater Project, and he needed a director to take it with him to Harlem. Now, people like to think that racial tension is something that happened only recently, but Louis lived with it every night we were in Harlem. The atmosphere during rehearsals for Macbeth were one of wild hatred. The Communist Party of Harlem was telling everyone that Houseman was letting his boyfriend prepare a burlesque of Macbeth. I mean, why else use witch doctors and voodoo drummers? No amount of assurance on our part could convince them that we weren't there for any other reason than to ridicule the Negro. Then, on opening night, for no reason at all, everyone in Harlem decided that we were the triumph of the town. The theater seated 1,100 people. There were 10 times that many milling about on 7th Avenue. The great Broadway swells rubbing elbows with Harlem pimps and number runners. When the play ended, there were so many curtain calls, I finally just ordered the curtain to remain open, and the audience just came on stage to congratulate the actors.
There is no fine head but carried here. I get to be weary of the sun, and with the estate of the world for now undone. Ring the alarm bell. Oh, come back. A policeman died of harness on our backs. But he was not born a woman. Such a one am I, here or not.
It was magical. Simply magical. And the critics were very kind, except for our Mr. Hearst man, Percy Hammonds. Oh, I don't like to speak ill of the dead, but in his review, Negroes, he said, should only be seen in plays about Negro life. You can imagine how that was received in Harlem. I was approached by one of our voodoo drummers, Abdul. We had imported Abdul and his troupe from the Gold Coast of Africa. This critic, bad man. Sounds like an old Tarzan movie, doesn't it? I allowed as how he was. You want me to make berry on this bad man? You make all the berry you want, Abdul. Start devil drums now. You go right ahead, I said. Just be ready for tonight's performance. Drums start now. Bad man die tomorrow. And in fact, that evening, the drums were even more frenzied than usual. Now, I didn't think any more of it until 2 days later I discovered that Percy Hammonds had been found dead in his apartment. I realized that upon reflection, this story may be hard to believe, but it is circumstantially true nonetheless. So any critic out there with an axe to grind, you better heed his warning. I'd only signed on for one show, and with it up and running, I thought I was free from the WPA and John Houseman. But that was not to be. Not until I came out here, anyway. It was Houseman, you know, who started that rumor that I did not write a single word of Citizen Kane. That I'd only signed on as co-author afterwards. When the truth is, I've been carrying the idea for that script around with me for a long time, long before I even knew the name, John Houseman.
I fear the history of my glorious exploits may be the work of my enemies, who will mingle 1,000 lies with a single grain of truth.
It was Houseman, you know, who started the rumor that I didn't write a single word of Citizen Kane, that I only added my name to it as co-author. You bastard! I bare my soul to you and...
No, it's not what
I... what? So you can make bootleg copies for that professor of yours to market?
I swear to God, it's not like that.
Oh, then how is it?
I just don't understand how else to get your attention. Our Japanese are due here by 3 and we need to make us some grocery money before then. So that I can eat too. Okay?
Do you believe that story? Do you?
Come on. Anybody who has ever seen Chimes or Touch of Evil or even that crummy print of Quixote could never listen to that shit.
You just don't know the harm that it's caused me. I've made so many fewer films than I wanted to because of it. I'd be doing my dancing bear routine and my pigeon would say something like, "Is it true when I read about Citizen Kane?" And I knew that as soon as he asked that, I would be going home empty-headed. Along with that other lie, that my picture's not making any money.
Yeah, that's what our professor told us.
Oh, and you wonder why I despise academics. Miserable, backstabbing peacocks! That's all they are! Shaw was right. Those who can do, those who can't teach. And the mumbo jumbo they feed young people like you. There's this crackpot out east who says that my films can only be understood by, and I quote, Bakhtin's formulation of the dialogic, unquote.
Now, what the hell does that mean?
I should know. You should ask that idiot professor of yours. And while you're at it, tell him to do his homework. All my films have made money. Perhaps not immediately, and certainly not the kind of box office that foolishness like E.T. and Star Wars take in, but they have made money. Are you recording this?
Yes.
Good. I want you to. It's about time my side of the story was told. But you have to promise me one thing. That you won't market it until after I'm gone.
Gone as in?
As in dead. Muerto, fini. Oh, and then tears of mourning shall be shed. With glycerin, of course. Carefully applied to make it look like the real thing in front of the camera. I'll be rediscovered. By the same miserable creatures who savaged me in this life. Never fails.
Come on.
Oh, you don't believe me? Look how Griffith was treated. We are all his children. He invented our entire vocabulary. But in this town, there is no respect for one's elders. The children are far too busy stealing their parking spaces from them. Have you listened to my War of the Worlds broadcast?
Every Halloween. Me and the brothers.
And I assume you've seen that Empire Strikes Back.
Who hasn't?
Those walking creatures the enemy uses.
Yeah, they were really cool.
Do you remember how my Martians crossed the Hudson River?
Yeah, Yeah, the very same way they had these big machines with those legs and. Whoa! It's the same! This
Yes,
the
a
one-
coincidence.
makes you wonder.
You did say 3 o'clock.
Yeah, for what?
My Japanese?
Yeah, 3 o'clock.
Patrick! Oh, fine, thank you. When can you have my table ready? Oh, just enough time for me to stop by the house and freshen up.
So, are you going? Where?
Oh, yes, Prince Alejandro shall be joining me for lunch.
Aren't you forgetting something?
Hold on a minute. Forgetting what?
That we got a shitload of work to do.
Don't you think I know that? Well,
Right?
Patrick. I was afraid I lost you. No, actually, I thought I'd put the diet on hold for the day. Yes. So why don't we start off with a dozen sherried oysters, a good pâté, a half a wheel of rumsten, and a bottle of poulet fumé. All right, the Musigny Blanc. Grilled tuna nessoir for me, unsalted of course, and a toronado steak for Alex. We'll wash it all down with a good Beaujolais and a pot of your blackest coffee. I can't imagine we'd have any room left for dessert, but oh no, the one before that, the mousse. Oui, à la marque. Who can resist, yes. I was going to suggest the same thing, but only $1 or $2. Where did you hear about Quixote? Really? I thought the trades had lost interest in my activities. Or perhaps turning 70 deserves a line or two. Or maybe they heard about last night's doings. What is it? Oh, yes. She was there, showing off her latest enhancements. Being as I was the birthday boy, I was invited to be the first man allowed to touch them. Oh, tell me, Patrick, however did our industry manage to survive before silicone implants? What is it? Oh, yes, oh, well, guess who was there? David Lean. Oh, well, that was his excuse, but who flies all the way from L.A. to, London to L.A. for beer and pretzels? Of course, he and Bob Bolt are raising money for a new project, Nostromo. Oh, yeah, he was there to hustle Spielberg. Oh, not to worry. Alex is over there, even as we speak, pocketing the money. I would like for you to hear something before I let you go. Oh, yes. Hold on a second. Yes. Just one new baggie, extra protection, freezer bag, double bags. They think they're being so clever with bag this, bag that. Oh, spoken like a true friend. Yes. I'll see you in a bit. Bye now. Can we please just get this over with?
What say we tried standing up?
Standing up, sitting down is still something for a backward child of 5 to read, not an actor.
Want to give her a level?
I remain obediently yours, Orson Welles.
Where do you come up with that?
It was my signature tag on the radio, once upon a distant time.
Cool.
Can we please just get this? Is there someone in there with you? Mel? I'm talking to you. Is there someone in the booth with you? Get in here! Now!
Yeah?
Who is in there with you?
Oh, that backward child of mine who thought of that piece of copy.
I am not used to having more than one person in there. Not a word out of you! Understood? I take directions from one person, under protest. Two people, I won't sit still. Damn! What?
See, you are over there, but the mic is over here, right?
Oh.
Come on, say something.
Baggy? Donkey baggy? Garbage baggy.
Okay, let's do it. New baggies, take one.
Just one new baggie, extra protection freezer bag, double babs. Ah, shit.
Take two.
Just one new baggie, extra protection freezer bag, double bags, the freshness. Baggie's unique formula of nylon plus plastic equals the freshness protection you'd get by doubling up an ordinary bag.
This time, could you play up the...
What do you mean this time? I did it correctly.
Yeah, that was okay, but...
Then if it was all right, then why do I need to do it again? Oh, can't those machines of yours fix it?
All we are asking is a backup.
We? I told you I do not take direction from more than one person.
Me! Said me. I'm asking for a backup, please. New baggies take three.
Just one new baggie, extra protection. Freezer bag, double bags, the freshness. Baggie's unique formula of nylon plus plastic equals the freshness protection you get by doubling up an ordinary bag.
Wow, that's a keeper!
Oh, is it now? I'm so happy. What's next?
Citrus Hill.
In the world of bulk laxatives, there's always been one problem. Sandy, gritty taste. Now there's one great tasting oasis, new clinically tested citrus cell. Oh, this is a very wearing one.
And how so?
Well, it's just full of things that are tough on the ear, not to mention unpleasant to read.
Come on, you have done a dozen of them last year, and the best one
Yes, was the one I did then and the one I will do.
Exactly. Citrus will take one.
In the world of bulk laxatives, there's always been one problem. Sandy, gritty taste. Now there's one great tasting oasis, new clinically tested Citrusel. Citrusel has the gentle action doctors recommend, and every heaping teaspoon is packed with the fiber you need to promote regularity. But when Citrusel hits cold water, do you see what I mean about it being tough on the ear? When Citrusel hits cold water, it bursts into a great tasting orange liquid you'll actually enjoy taking. In a pig's ass you will. Ooh, Citrusel. The grit is gone. And so am I!
No, not so fast.
Oh, what now?
There's still that job for the grids.
Can't it wait until after lunch?
No, I need that time to work my magic and get in on the plane to London.
Here under protest is Mrs. Buckley and her goddamn can of We know a remote farm in Lincolnshire where Mrs. Buckley lives. In July.
What is the video like that goes with this copy?
Well?
Yeah, I'm trying to find for you. Yeah, we open in this field. There's still snow on the ground.
In July?
You know what I know, right? Well, we see these plants coming up.
Mrs. Buckley's peas.
Yeah, you got it.
So why don't I say in July over the snow? Isn't that the fun of it?
Okay, done deal, but start a half second later when all of this shit disappears, okay?
Oh, I just love seeing a snow-covered field and then be told that in July peas grow there. We know a remote farm in Lincolnshire where Mrs. Buckley lives. In July, peas grow there. But you see, we're not even in the field, you see? And she's already picking them. What is it?
You know, picking in July.
I don't understand. What's over in July?
Come on, man. When we get out of this fucking field.
I was out. We were into a big dish of peas when I said in July.
Okay, can you play up the word in July?
But that doesn't make any sense. There's no known way of saying an English sentence which begins with in and emphasize it. Give me a jury. Show me how you can say in July and I'll look down on you. Impossible. Meaningless.
Okay, so make it every July, man.
Every July. But that's just bad copy. Of course it's every July. Oh, come on, fellas! You're losing your heads. I would not direct any living actor in Shakespeare like this. Oh, you people have wasted more of my time than any other client I've ever had. That's right, you! I'm talking to you, the backward child of 5! I have been elevating shit like this all my life! All my life! Oh, yes! Oh, is that what you want? Is that what you're expecting? Expecting for me to be your stepping stone to another E.T.? Oh, puerile shit to purity in peril. Are those your horizons? Then I should introduce you to the master. I will even provide you with a letter of introduction. Dear Stephen, please welcome another new recruit to your long green banner. You will find in him a true kindred spirit whose holy grail like yours are billions at the box office. There's no on him, your painful.
Seguro que la haría otra vez.
Temblad, cobardes. Y aunque mováis los brazos amenazadoramente, me lo habréis de pagar. El caballero de la triste figura, en nombre de su amada Dulcinea, dará buena razón de vuestros huesos villanos. Afuera, canalla gigante, rendíos a mi fuerte brazo. Rendíos ante Don Quijote de la Mancha. Os haré probar mi noble acero. ¡Defendeos, entregad de vuestra voluntad! ¡Moriremos matadores! ¡Y si no, probad el temple de mi acero!
A knight must roam the earth in search of adventure, so that his fame will have preceded him when he arrives at the court of even the greatest monarch. He must be so well known that all the young lads will follow behind him through the gates of the kingdom, shouting, "Hail, Knight of the Sun!" And recognizing this famous knight by his armor, the sovereign will command his minions to go forth and welcome this flower of chivalry, that he may sup with them.
You always were a dreamer, with your eyes on the horizon, wondering what lay beyond, as far as you could see. You left to find a castle, a knight in shining armor, or maybe just to spread your wings and feel that you are free.
What is this?
Say again?
Get in here.
Whoever you may be, I pray that I may not perish in this prison before my work is ended.
The mailman at your service.
This mess you made? Don't you know enough to clean up after yourself?
I didn't expect you back so soon.
I need an outside line.
They're all tied up.
Well, untie them.
There's a professor from USC on the one.
I've already told you I don't talk to his kind.
And some guy from the side and sound on the other.
Oh, that rag again.
He's got a question about my all-time favorite clip.
Oh, does he now? This is Orson Welles speaking, and you are... I don't talk to academics. Didn't Houseman leave his papers to USC? All the more reason. This is Orson Welles speaking. I understand that you want to take a little stroll down memory lane. Fuck memory lane. That's the past. I live in the present. Ask me what I'm doing today. Well?
Here I remain, Sancho, until you return with that letter. If the answer is as I hope, my penance will end.
Alex. Oh, shit. Where the hell are you? I spent the better part of an hour waiting for you at the saloon. It's almost 2 o'clock. I'm back at work. Just call me as soon as you get this message. Orson Welles for Steven Spielberg, please. Hello. And you are? Vashti. And what is it you do for Steven? Assist his executive assistant. I dance with the girl who danced with the man, dance with the Prince of Wales.
I dance with a man who danced with a girl who danced with the Prince of Wales.
What is it? Oh, well.
I danced with a man, danced with a girl, danced with a prince.
Oh, it's just an old show tune is all. You would have to be a white-bearded old coot like me to remember it. I wonder, Vashti, if Steven could come to the phone. I promise not to take up too much of his time. And his executive assistant, is she? Oh, I didn't realize that the picture was in a shape to be screened. I meant to ask at last night's doing. I only know what Oprah told me. And she's predicting Best Picture, Best Director, Best Everything. Look, Vashti, I sent my man around there this morning. Oh, you did? Well, when he didn't show up for lunch, I'm sure he will too. Look, I can't today, but if Steven would like me to attend a screening. Oh, no, not at all. He and Amy are two of my favorite people. How could I not want to help? Just have him give me a call and I'll be right over. Well, look, Vashti, I won't take up any more of your time. Oh, nice talking to you too. And give my best to Steve and Amy.
You want to sit or stand? Yeah, I think you better stay put. It's good for you?
Fine.
Copy should be right on top. I could do with the level.
They come to us because their dreams reach far beyond middle management.
Gotcha. Johnson and Wales, take one.
They come to us because their dreams reach far beyond middle management, or because their dreams have changed over the years. They come to us because they're willing to work a little harder to earn a degree of distinction. Whatever your interests, the Alan Sean Feinstein Graduate School at Johnson and Wales University has a master's or doctoral program that matches your dream of a better life. Johnson and Wales, distinction by degrees.
No, I need you to say the name again. It's Feinstein, not Feinstein.
The Alan Sean Feinstein Graduate.
Again.
The Alan Sean Feinstein. Shit.
What do you drink beer from?
I don't drink beer.
And if you did,
Stein.
Good. Give it 3 in a row, just like that.
A Stein, a Stein, a Stein.
Magic time.
Are you going to answer it?
It's probably for you.
What if it is?
Come on, man. You see, I'm trying to make us some mellow magic in here, you know.
Just answer the damn thing.
Do you know a cop of name Shore? Or Shul? I just can't tell which from this guy's accent.
Am I supposed to?
Yeah. You sent his ass to jail. Anyway, he just died and his hometown newspaper on the line. They want to know if you want to make a statement.
I hope he rots in hell.
Whoa. A southern sheriff going to jail for beating up a black man. That's gotta be a first, huh?
He didn't just beat him up. He gouged his eyes out.
Good morning. This is Orson Welles speaking. And I'd like to read to you from an affidavit.
Southern trees bear a strange fruit.
I, Sergeant Isaac Woodard, Jr., being duly sworn, here depose and state as follows. I am 27 years old and a veteran of the United States Army, having served 15 months in the South Pacific and earned 1 battle star.
Blood on the leaves, blood at the root.
I was honorably discharged on February 12, 1946, from Camp Gordon, Georgia.
Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze.
While still in uniform, I bought a bus ticket to Winslow, South Carolina, so that I could get my wife and we could go on up to New York to visit my father and mother.
Strange fruit hanging from a poplar tree.
About an hour outside of Augusta, the bus stopped at a small drugstore. I asked if it was time for me to use the restroom.
Pastoral scene of the gallant song.
The driver cursed me and said no. When he cursed me, I cursed him back.
The bulging eyes and the twisted mouth.
When the bus reached Batesburg, he went and got the police. They didn't give me a chance to explain.
Scent of magnolia, sweet and fresh.
A police officer struck me with his billy and told me to shut up.
Then the sudden smell of burning flesh.
He asked me if I was discharged. When I said yes, he began beating me with his billy upside the top of my head.
Here is a fruit for the crows to pluck.
When I came to, he was poking me in the eyes with the end of his billy. Then he threw me in a cell and locked me up.
For the rain to gather, for the wind to sow.
I woke up the next morning and couldn't see. He said, Come on, nigga. You and me gonna go hear what the judge has to say.
For the sun to rise, for the trees to dry.
I told him I couldn't see to come out of myself. I was blind.
Here is a strange and bitter cry.
He said, feel your way out. He said, I would feel better after I washed my face.
Southern trees, they're a strange fruit.
Then he led me up to see the judge. After I told the judge what happened, he said,
Blood on the leaves, blood at the root.
those kinds of goings on don't happen here in Batesburg.
Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze.
I fine you $50 or 30 days in jail.
Strange fruit hanging from the poplar tree.
This prompts me to do that for which I was sent into the world, and to which end I vowed at all times to aid those who are oppressed. Now it seems to me the officer of the law who blinded the young Negro has not been named. The boy saw who it was when he still had eyes, but he had no way of knowing which policeman it was who brought the justice of Dachau and Auschwitz to Batesburg, South Carolina. It was just another white man with a club out to show the Negro where he belonged, in the darkness. Until we know more about him, we will call him Officer X. He might be listening to this broadcast. I hope that he is. I'm talking to you, Officer X. Enjoy your anonymity while it lasts, because you are going to be uncovered. The whole world will know your Christian name, your so-called given name. Assume another, and I will make sure that the name you would forget is not forgotten. I will remove from you all refuge, and when I find you out, I will never let you go. If they try you, I plan to attend the trial. If they jail you, I will be there on your first day of freedom. For I want to know what kind of human being will admit to knowing you, Officer X. I will never let you go. Now, what business is this of mine, you ask? God help me, if this isn't the most pressing business I have. That soldier you saw fit to blind fought for me in the war. You too, probably. The least I can do is fight for him. So I come to this microphone in his name. And in the name of all those who have no voice of their own. We want to see where stands the sun of common fellowship. When will it rise over Batesburg, South Carolina? Your fate, Officer X, will tell the rest of us where we are going in this American experiment. Into bankruptcy, or into that serene tomorrow with justice and freedom for all those that soldier fought for when he still had eyes, and with eyes wide open, went to war. Well, I see that my time is up. Please let me call again, same time next Sunday. Until then, I remain, as always, obediently yours.
And now, the words we always use on these broadcasts. Mr. Wells' opinions are his own and do not reflect the views of ABC or our sponsor, Lear Radio.
And they didn't.
I received more hate mail for that broadcast than anything I had ever done before or since, including War of the Worlds. The good citizens of Batesburg went so far as to burn me in effigy. The Stranger was scheduled to play for a few days in Batesburg, but the city father saw fit to ban it, along with any other picture I might make in the future. Now, I'm not unaccustomed to being banned. For 30 years, the mere mention of my name was forbidden by our Mr. Hearst to all his subject newspapers. But to be banned by an entire city, an American city no less, well, that's quite an accomplishment. The end result of the War of the Worlds scandal earned me a sponsor, Campbell's Soup Company. The Isaac Woodard broadcast ended my career in radio. A boycott was threatened of all Lear products by some race-baiting preacher in Mississippi. Stations north as well as south threatened to pull away from the entire network if that nigger lover wasn't taken off the air. 1946. Ripe old age of 31. No longer the boy wonder. I had earned a new distinction. World's youngest has-been. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I started at the top and I've been working my way down ever since. Ireland, New York, Chicago.
Once I lived a life of a millionaire. Spent all my money, didn't have a care. Took all my friends out for a mighty good time. Bootleg liquor, champagne and wine. Then I began to fall so low. Didn't have a penny, nowhere to go. But if I ever get my hands on $1 again, I'm gonna hold on to it till that eagle grins. No, nobody loves you when you're down and out in your pocket. You ain't got one penny, and your friends, you ain't got any.
We gotta lay down those testimonials before your Japanese get here.
I didn't know what it meant to fail until I came out here to Hollywood. Door after door slammed in my face. RKO went so far as to pull one of those South American things, you know, where the colonels come in the middle of the night and overthrow you.
Hello in there.
I heard you the first time.
Thank you so much.
The day after I was thrown off the lot, they hung a banner over the main gate. all's well that ends wells. So what testimonials?
The phone company in Delaware.
Oh, when it comes to cellular, what matters most to a Delaware wireless customer? You know, the word wireless makes you think of Marconi. You know, but they want us to believe they're state-of-the-art. Does that make any sense to you?
See, they pay their bills on time, and that makes sense to me. Okay, so Delaware Wireless, take one.
When it comes to cellular, what matters most to a Delaware wireless customer?
For Susie Potter of Wilmington Mutual, it's coverage. For Jerry Izzo of TCCA, it's affordability. And for John Cole of Cole and Company, it's customer service.
A lot of things came to an end in 1946. My marriage to Rita, for one of them. We were known around town as Beauty and the Brain. Well, Beauty replaced the brain with the bank account, Ali Carr. When that quickly soured, she took up with the brute, Dick Hayes. Alzheimer's took what little was left after he got through with her. Last time I saw Rita was at the saloon. I was having dinner, and she was seated at a nearby table, and well, naturally, I went to say hello, and I kissed her on the cheek, and my blood ran cold. She didn't recognize me. Death lay on her like an untimely frost, sweet flowering. I was making a movie in Brazil, and you know, I'm one of those people who always need something to read. So the only thing I could find were some old copies of Life magazine. She was on the cover. You know the one. She's wearing a slip. She's kneeling on the bed. She's looking over at the camera. Every GI in World War II carried it with him.
Her locks are scarlet, her cheeks roses, her eyes suns, her smiles rainbows. As for those parts that modesty keeps covered, they are not to be compared to any other.
Funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine, you make me smile with my heart. Your looks are laughable, unphotographable, yet you're my favorite work of art. Is your figure less than Greek? Is your mouth a little weak when you open it to speak? Are you smart? Oh, but don't change your hair for me. Now, if you care for me. Stay, little Valentine, stay, won't you stay? Each day is Valentine, Valentine's Day.
I stared at that picture and said, I'm gonna marry that girl. Out of the hat, got wind of my intentions and wrote about it in her column. Frida was furious. She thought I was amusing myself at her expense. She had no self-confidence, you see. That old love goddess thing that Harry Cohn thought up for her was not Rita Hayworth. She never got a moment's pleasure out of being a movie star. As soon as I have a flop, she'd say, I'll be nobody
I've been kissed before. Arms have held me fast. You can tell by my kiss you were the first, and you won't be the last. With heart and soul I kissed them, and filed the memory under N. Tomorrow if I miss them, that may be the only time I think about.
When we finally met, I said, the papers say I'm gonna marry you. Guess what? It's true. She turned on her heel and just walked away. It took me 6 weeks to get her to answer the telephone. But she did. We went out that very evening. 6 weeks later, we tied the knot, as they say. No one was supposed to know, least of all Harry Cole. Yeah, he was as adamant that we not marry as he had been that I not saw her in half for the Mercury Wonder Show. But this time, we were adamant. And so he had to milk that wedding for all the publicity he could get out of it. Nevertheless, he coiled up in the corner and waited for me to make a mistake. Cole Porter called from New York and wanted to know if I was interested in directing a musical he had written, Around the World in 80 Days. Well, I had done it on radio, and the thought of returning to Broadway, well, I mean, who can resist that? I mean, theater is not a high priority here in Tinseltown. You know, you can't make a living at it. At least I never did. Even when Houseman and I were running those 2 theaters in New York, you know, if it hadn't been for my radio earnings, we never would have made ends meet. And that's with Uncle Sam as our angel. Mr. Roosevelt once said that I was the only private citizen he ever knew had put money into a government project. Oh, yeah. Don't do that musical. Cole Porter's all written out. Written out, is it? His next musical was Kiss Me, Kate. Mike Todd was our producer, and I remember thinking, that man can sell anything, without realizing that Cole and I were next in line to be sold out. We were in Boston for the first tryout, and he announced that he was quitting the show. Now, I should have canceled the show right then and there, but I gathered everyone together, like in one of those movie musicals, and said, come on, kids, we're gonna put this show on come hell or high water. By the time we reached Broadway, I had put $400,000 of my own money into it, which made absolutely no impression on the critics, who dismissed it as empty extravaganza. The second shoe dropped at tax time. I, of course, had made the $400,000 a business expense. But the IRS said, oh, no, that's a personal loss. It's left me in debt to them for years to come. I can't remember if we were still in Boston, but I know that I had to raise $50,000 if the show was going to go on that evening. So I checked with the box office to see how receipts were going, and they gave me the empty pocket sign. So I said to myself, well, who do I know that can give me $50,000 by 2 p.m.? There's Anna. Unfortunately, he was traveling in Europe and could not be reached in time. So I called Harry Cole. And he was all smiles on the telephone, like the cat who's about to swallow the canary. Or in this case, 2 canaries. Rita's contract was up for renewal, and she was pressing him to cast her in something where she could do some real acting. No doubt he blamed me for putting that bug in her ear. So he decided he'd teach her a lesson, and what better way to do that than to cast her in a Wells picture. So what do I get for my $50,000? I looked around the box office. A cashier was reading a paperback novel. I grabbed it from her and said, I'm holding in my hand the best novel I have ever read. And what does Rita get to play in it? The role of a lifetime. It'll be a whole new Rita Hayworth. At the appointed hour, I had my $50,000, yet I found myself committed to doing an expensive Hayworth A picture based on a novel I hadn't even read. When I finally got around to reading it, I said, oh God, this doesn't make any sense. So I wrote a snooze screenplay and called it Lady from Shanghai.
Don't take your arms away.
He needed a new look, so I cut off all that gorgeous red hair and dyed the rest platinum blonde.
Change of weather comes a change of heart, and who knows when the rain will start. So I beg you, please don't love me. But if you love me, then don't take your lips or your arms or your love away.
Oh, you can imagine Harry's reaction. What's that crazy bastard got this time? No sooner was a rough cut ready when he insisted on a preview. Now this was the moment he'd been waiting for. And he played it to the hilt. The film ended. The lights came up. The room was so quiet you could hear an option drop. He stared at the screen, his mouth wide open. I'll give $1,000 to anybody who can explain this piece of shit to me. Say what you will, the man had a way with words. Well, I wasn't allowed to, and no one else dared explain the film to him, that is. And so Harry and his yes-men, they formed a wall around Rita, no doubt to protect her from my evil influence, and they all got their licks in. The piece of shit in question was deemed artsy and obscure. That might be true of Blood of the Pope, but not Lady from Shanghai. Oh, and didn't I care about the damage I had done to Rita's career? She only had her best reviews for that picture. So he took her hand in his, and he swore his mother's grave that he would move heaven and hell to make sure that her star was never tarnished again. Of course, he'd make her eat crow in the bargain. So she had to agree to have Lady released as a B picture, which had every tongue in town wagging, and to throw Huac off the scent. She denounced me as leading her astray politically. I was through as far as Hollywood was concerned. I did the only sensible thing. I boarded a plane and went to Europe, leaving this country for almost a decade.
I'm about ready for you.
The silver lining, of course, was that I got to make a fellow. Of course, it took me 4 years and only added to my reputation as a madman. See, I was making $100,000 a clip. That was my fee in those days. So I would tell people, I'll do anything for $100,000 except the rent. Oh, it took a lot of whoring to get that picture made. Caesar Borgia, Cagliostro. Oh, the dogs I let myself be cast in. I'd run off and film until my money ran out. Well, that's why I moved the film from Venice to Morocco. Money. It went a lot further in Morocco. Nevertheless, I still had to shoot everything reverse shot, because I could never get my actors in front of the camera at the same time. If you ever see anyone from behind, a hood over their head, you can bet it's a stand-in. Yeah.
Mentally, for 30 years under the Borgias, they had warfare, terror, murder, bloodshed, but they produced Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, and the Renaissance. In Switzerland, they had brotherly love. They had 500 years of democracy and peace. And what did that produce? The cuckoo clock.
Oh, I don't often wish for a chance to do things over again, but that was definitely one of those times. You see, they offered me a choice between my usual $100,000 and a share in the profits. Now, mind you, this was before the era of creative accounting, when a film could actually make money. Nowadays, they work the numbers in such a way that even something like E.T. ends up in the red. In America, The Third Man was a success. But in Europe, they have never had a hit like that over there. Oh, I could have bankrolled 10 Othellos if I had only elected to share in the profits. Anyway, I was determined to make the film I wanted. And I had no one to fire me, no Harry Cohn. So, and that's a rare luxury in this business. Something I've only had on one or other occasion, is Citizen Kane. Now, the obvious place to launch Othello would have been Venice. But the print that was available at that time was woefully inadequate. So I held out for cash. That year, the smart money was on Kazan's Viva Zapata. And then there was this fellow from this minuscule city-state in the Balkans that the critics had anointed the darling of the festival. His home movie was being compared to the best of John Ford. You want to know the secret with this crowd? Make a movie about nothing, in a language no one understands, no story, lousy acting, the worst possible photography. But here is the secret. Subtitles. Throw in enough of them and the critics will outdo themselves with praise. No, I wasn't there at Cannes to win anything. I just was trying to line up a distributor. So I was in my room at the Carlton when I received a call asking me if I knew what the Moroccan national anthem was. Now, because most of the film had been shot there, I thought it was only right to have it as the Moroccan entry. You know, there was no official delegation or anything. It was just me and my cans of film. I'm afraid I told the caller, but I understood why he was calling. So, that evening, as I mounted the stage to receive my golden palm, I couldn't help but laugh as the festival orchestra scratched out something vaguely oriental, and the audience stood solemnly to attention.
It is the cause. It is the cause of my soul. Let me not name it to you, you chaste stars. It is the cause. Yet I'll not shed her blood, nor scar that whiter skin of hers than snow, and smooth as monumental alabaster. Yet she must die, else she'll betray more men.
United Artists picked up the film, but they didn't release it for 3 years. When they finally did, they dismissed it, the critics did, calling it meretricious nonsense. And I quote, "To connoisseurs of Shakespeare, this film can only be torture." Unquote. Now, these same connoisseurs would never criticize Verdi, and his opera is a far cry from Shakespeare. So why should my film be any closer to Shakespeare than Verdi's opera? I mean, you can't just put a play on the screen. Any play. Connoisseurs, my ass. Mark my word, if Shakespeare were alive today, he'd be writing for Movie of the Week.
It's Your Majesty on the phone for you. Your flunky is up.
Oh, I need to speak with him. Alex, where in the hell have you been? Oh, yes. I called over there this morning. Yes, earlier. I said to sweet talk some twit who works for Stephen. Yes, that's her, Vashti. What kind of a name is Vashti? Stephen certainly goes in for some kind of exotic shit. What do you mean overextended? He gave no hint of that last night. So what happened between now and then to overextend him? Well. He's found someone else to fuck over, has he? But I'm no longer sport enough for him. And David believed him? You think after all these years he'd have better sense? What am I saying? I've just had my bell rung, haven't I? Look, this stay put. I'm gonna call David.
What do you think you're doing? It's after 3, for Christ's sake.
Orson Welles for David Lean.
Do you hear what I'm saying?
We'll start when I'm damn good and ready.
Fine.
David, it's Orson. Not too well, I'm afraid. You see, I have this knife sticking out of my back, and you can guess who put it there. Oh, believe me, David. He was all but licking my balls last night, but now, well, and yours too, if I recall. Now I'm not worth chump change to him. What do you mean it's to be expected? Now, don't go changing the subject on me. I want to know what you meant by that remark. And how would it be throwing good money after bad? If Quixote still meant something to me, do you doubt it, David? No, fuck him. Do you doubt it? within you deserve the screwing that he has in store for you. Well, of course I'm bitter. And you will be too. How much are you trying to get out of it? Mark my word, you will never see a dime of that money. Not next year, not the year after, not ever. David, please, don't make the same mistake I did. All right, then. So say I didn't warn you. Alex? No. He's no more willing to listen than I was. I don't know what to tell you about where we go from here. Looks like you hitched your wagon to a falling star, old friend. All I know is I have some serious thinking to do. Yes, there very well may be another film out there. I mean, miracles do happen. I didn't believe that. I thought that this was all there was.
Speaking of which,
No, I appreciate that. No, I'm fine, really. Look, tell me, what's your weekend looking like? No, I just need someone I can trust who can strap on a money belt and fly down to Panama for me. I have a few dollars I want to put into an account out there.
mine is the 300,000 you are about to blow off.
Away from the watchful eyes of the IRS.
Because your Japanese are about to walk the fuck out of here if you don't get off that phone.
Listen, I've got to go, but you think it over and call me back. Who in the hell do you think you are talking to me like that?
Who am I? Who am I? The only goddamn friend you have, man. I know. I cannot get you another film to direct, but I sure as hell can keep you in grocery money. I am the one who make you sound like Orson Welles. Remember? Without me, buddy, you are up Shit's Creek.
Oh, you think so?
I know so. This is you.
Build, repair, replenish. That's what you'll be doing when you feed your dog the complete nutrition that's packed into a can.
This is me.
Build, repair, replenish. That's what you'll be doing when you feed your dog the complete nutrition that's packed into a can of Laddie Boy premium dog food. This is Orson Welles, and I'm like every other dog owner. Nothing is too good for my...
You tell me who you put your money on.
I was born to be the target at which the arrows of misfortune are aimed.
Look. They are my Japanese too. And I want to keep doing business with them.
And that won't happen.
Not if you keep digging them around at home.
That's what I'm doing. Digging them around. Well, my young Houdini. Henceforth, I shall be dickless to a fault. You have my word on it.
Are you sure about it?
Absolutely.
Sure. Why don't we just record it, man? Start.
Can I ask you a favor first?
Just name it.
Turn off that bootleg recording you've been making.
Come on. I is that a long time?
To promise?
Not till you are gone. Scout honor. So you already have something to read.
Yes.
How about we get started?
I second that.
Tapes rolling. Story number 1. Take 1.
Isaac Dennison was a Dane, and I have been in love with her ever since I opened her first book. In life, she was the Baroness Blixen, Tanya to her close friends. I have known some of these friends and have never stopped pumping them for every morsel of information, every memory of her, however slight. I wrote a letter to her once, and when I was finished, I had a perfect mountain of pages, each of which I carefully destroyed. I once boarded a plane to visit this woman whom I love. As Ben Jonson said of Shakespeare, this side idolatry. She lived in the same house where she was born and where she died. Hamlet's Elsinore is right up the road. She had been persuaded to let me call on her in the morning. I spent a sleepless night, and at daybreak, I took the first plane out of Copenhagen. What could such a casual visitor presume to offer but his stammered thanks? The visitor would have been a bore, and the lover was much too proud for that. All I had to do was remain silent, and our affair would continue on the most intimate terms as long as I had eyes to read. The Dreamers by Isaac Dennison. What is life when you think on it? Lincoln Forestner asked. But a fiendishly complicated process of turning fat, happy puppies into blind, mangy dogs, and beamish young boys for whom the world holds infinite promise, into broken old men with runny eyes. What is man? Answered the storyteller, but an ingenious machine for turning wine into urine. You might even ask, what is the greater craving? To drink or to make water? But through it all, a poem is written, a prophet begotten, a kiss stolen, a joke told. And afterwards, asked Lincoln Forrester. Afterwards, the world is pleased to piss us out again. I'd like to know, are you able to put so good a face on something that only wants to rid itself of you? I dream, said the storyteller. Dream? Yes, every night by the grace of God when I close my eyes. And in my dreams I see endless horizons, such as there are none in this life. May God have mercy on me, said Lincoln Forrester, for I no longer know what it is to dream.
To right the unrightable wrong, to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary to reach that unreachable star. This is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause.
When asked what the best death was, Julius Caesar answered, quick and without warning. Though he spoke as a pagan, he was right.
Man! You know what you just did? You nailed that sucker dead on, man! Ain't a single dry eye in there. And they didn't understand a single word you were saying. No two ways about it, baby. You're still the man. They want to take you out for a drink. The saloon, Four Seasons, any place you want. And your mellow he's got this little starletto with the headlights out to here, waiting on him over Silver Lake Way. We're gonna blaze us some haze. I don't have to tell an old stickman like you where we go from there, right? That's a wrap, dude. Come on, up and at it.
Remember that I told you that I was something of a magician.
Mr. Wells!
And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm as I'm laid to my rest, and the world will be better for this, that one man, scorned and covered in scars, still strove with his last ounce of courage to